Now, I mean, it's a place. I mean, I'm really happy for them, for Dede, Tattoo, Cody, and all these people that they are, you know,
They
living
need
and
it.
doing things there.
Yeah.
I'm happy for them. But I think for us, it's really a matter of we still have a lot, you know, where we are, you in Portugal, me in Canada, we still have a lot attachment here that
Mhm.
there's there's not really real compelling reason to leave everything now and go back to Congo and restart. I mean, start a
Yeah.
new life or a business.
I, you know, I don't believe in the saying that, are you from there, you have to go back there. I don't believe in that.
Mhm. No.
I believe that for every person, there's a storyline, and for every person, there's a, everybody will decide where home is. If
Hmm.
my heart was in Paris for 32 years and I stayed there, and
Hmm.
when everybody was starting to go back to Congo and everybody was, yo, listen, there's opportunities, you can become rich, you can do this, you can even go do politics, blah, 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 we back in. I was like, guys, me, I need studios, I need internet, Wi-Fi, all that. This is my life, this is how I make my money.
Hmm.
And hey, good luck. I come see you guys in a few years and see where you are, how you are.
Hmm.
And yeah, listen, everybody has cars, drivers, nannies,
Hmm.
houses with gardens, etc. And I'm like, I love apartments.
Hmm.
And it's this thing where the narrative of we have to go back, da, 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 it might
Hmm.
work with some people and more power to them.
Hmm.
But for a lot of people, hey,
Hmm.
yeah, life is in the US or in Europe or Thailand or whatever, because home is really where you decide that this is home for me. This is,
Hmm.
before moving from France, I knew that my heart was not in France anymore for a few
Hmm.
years already. I knew. And it ended up being Portugal. But before that, I thought about Brazil, I thought about Thailand, I even thought about, hey, Sweden, Norway, Canada, and I even thought about, let me find a place where it's super cheap so I can pay the rent for 1 year, and then I just have a backpack and a suitcase, and I go spend 1 month in one city, then I come back for a little bit, then I go spend another month, and I just come somewhere and I take the rent for a whole month, like, because yeah, like African bohemian, I'm like that. I loved to go and meet new people, meet new places,
Hmm.
create in other places. And for some people, going back was exactly what they needed to do. And for some others, we find where we are. And it's okay.
Right.
You don't, it's like, because it's funny, the people who's, no, you have to go back. Africans need to da da da. I'm like, guys, we, if we look at reality, we kind of stop being Africans in the term of mindset and etc.
Mindset. Right. Hmm.
We are now Europeans or North Americans or
Right.
etc. Because if I've been out of Africa now since 80. Well, I was 7.
Hmm.
I'm 47, so it's been 40 years.
40 years. Yeah.
So it's been 40 years out of Africa, and I just come for a week or two, do a show or chill with the family, then I go back.
Hmm.
I cannot compare my experience and who I am to somebody who spent the last 40 years there. Or for
No,
example, if you
we're
take,
different.
exactly, if you take Bodhi, for example, Bodhisattva, he left Africa when he was 18.
Hmm.
So even if he looks white, he's more African than me in his manners, even in the way he acts. You can see he has more of that Bantu ways. That I have more the French ways because I lived in France all my life. That's where I studied. That's the language I speak the best. That's where I have the most vocabulary, etc., etc. And it's okay. And you have to understand who you are in the whole master plan, and not let the pressure from all the activists make you do something stupid that you will regret, because there's a lot of people who regret as well, who they never found themselves in terms of not in terms of doing stuff, whatever. It was more in terms of mentality. There's a lot of people, they can't. Like, especially if you used to order, you used to respect of rules, you used to, when there's a green light, you go. When there's a red light, you stop and you wait. It's just the simple things that people like me are attached to. And I arrive there and all this chaos, and I'm like, and last time my wife was like, yeah, but come on, we've been here for 2 days. Like, can we do stuff? Can we go somewhere? Can we visit this? Listen, she keeps showing me on Instagram photos of Parc de l'Ancele, this, that. And I was like, baby, we need 3 hours to go anywhere in the chaos. And we need 3 hours then to go back. I don't have the courage to do this every day.
To sit in traffic for 3 hours.
I can't. Like, when I'm alone, so I think we did it maybe 3 or 4 times. In 2 weeks, we did it 3 or 4 times. And listen, you're exhausted when you come back.
Right.
You're not only exhausted from the time, but you're also exhausted from the stress of watching this chaos. And me, I'm a person, chaos makes me nervous. Chaos makes me anxious. Seeing all these, nobody cares about no rules, it stresses me. I'm like, fuck, what they do? Why? And the driver is like, and for everybody it's normal because they've been there. For me, I'm gonna spend the whole trip saying, look, why are there 4 on the bike? Why are they 20 inside this little car? And it stresses me. And when I arrive home, I just want to stay home. And that's why usually when I'm alone in Congo, and of course not in pandemic setting, I stay home the whole day, and I leave home around 1 a.m. when the streets are clear, and in 45 minutes we arrive to go to a club, restaurants, whatever, chill, and 4 or 5 a.m. we back up. That's okay for me because I'm used to a life as well where if I have to go somewhere, if I have to go to Buddy's house, for example, it takes 30 minutes. And he lives far in Portugal. Buddy's house in Kinshasa is 5 hours. Just because of the madness. So I tweeted like, yo, the traffic around here is madness. I feel like I'm in a bowl of spaghetti. And somebody replied to me, you are a son of the Congo, you cannot say that. You have to... I was like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, man.
So when
the
are you
expectations.
Going back? So when are you going back? This is my question. When are we all meeting there?
I mean, that's a good question. I haven't, even Dali, she asks me all the time, we should go, why don't...
You should.
I'm not really prepared. I'm not prepared. And
so you
the other thing too. I'm sorry?
Hey Nadia, you're worse than me because it feels like you kind of don't want to go. Or you put it behind you, it feels like.
Yeah, it's just behind me. And I always said if I have to go, I'm not planning to go to Kinshasa. Maybe go to, you know, some remote place like Mbandaka or, you
Bandaka
know,
been forever.
yeah, in the province where it's quieter than in Kinshasa.
Lubumbashi is amazing.
All right. Yeah, and I've seen also the
Yes.
videos. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe, going those places instead of Kinshasa. But Kinshasa is where most of the family is. So not going in Congo and then going to Kinshasa, it's like, um, what's the point? You know,
I mean,
but it will come. It will come.
yeah, I feel that it's a process that maybe you have your own traumas, the same way I had mine. Especially me, it was the trauma of being taken away, and I mean we were at school already, so when we were taken away, it was just all of a sudden we couldn't spend our holidays there. But for you, you lived the the revolution
Yeah.
from inside, and then you had to move because there was nothing more for you. So the kind of déchirure.
Yeah. And
It's kind of
the
your
thing
heart
is,
was torn of leaving, and then you were like maybe hoping to go back for so long that at a point it just became, yeah, okay, you know what? Let's close this chapter, and now my life is in Canada, and embrace my new life, and move in that direction. And but I believe that and I'm gonna speak for me. Going back in Congo, it kind of healed some things for me. And listen, if somebody tells me today, listen, you have unlimited money, and you don't need to work or whatever, and you can build your house anywhere, where would you build it? I would say Lisbon, or maybe Miami, or maybe an island in Thailand, or maybe Bangkok even. Bangkok is busy as well, but it's different. But I feel more attached to Lisbon. So it's not a thing where I'm like, oh, listen, if all the conditions were that I would go live there. No, I can be a proud representative of Kinshasa and not want to live there, because my heart, my family, what I built is here.
exactly.
But going back gave me back something that I didn't really felt that I needed, but it's like the part of you that you forgot because you decided to move on. And then when you get it back, you're like, damn, this is my arm, And yeah, listen,
You are preaching.
I'm preaching. You have to. It's not going back to stay. Look, Adele, our
Yes.
cousin, she went there to start organizing the family stuff. And she went there for a week or two. So last time I went, she arrived. So that was in April.
Yeah.
And she's still there.
Yeah.
She's still there. She's like enjoying to the fullest. And she's replenishing a battery that she didn't know was empty. And she didn't know that she even needed it. And she's enjoying everything out of it. And she's like us. She's been in Europe forever. So,
yeah.
Her sister went back. She was like, I can't anymore. She went back. But her, she's like, damn. Like, yes. Okay. Yeah. And then when she comes back, I know that when I come back, I'm always different. It's like if there's a source of energy out there, but it's not the energy we need, that we have already for our day-to-day where we are. It's another energy. it's another energy that when you come back, you like, all right, let's go. And I mean, this that does that to me, and that's why I go twice a year. I go twice a year. It's important for me, and it's also interesting to find out about everybody that you left behind and meet them and see what they became. And even for me, you know, growing up and when I started to sing and etc., you know, when I was 15 back then, the Izesika days. And now you see some of them, they are politicians, some of them, they are businessmen, and everybody's now, everybody's around 45 to 50, and everybody's like has kids, and some are even grandparents, and it's like, hey, and you see people who are now in their 50s or 40s, and you remember when we were 15,
right?
And they stay there. So and they bring you to a point in your life, a point in time that you kind of left behind, and this kind of makes you whole again. That's what I was looking for. It makes you whole again to have this reconnection to who you are, because who you are is not what you are today, is who you are today plus everything you have been. And just being in Binza, this is our kingdom. I'm done preaching.
You know, it's true, because, you know, whenever I look back and also look at Yandonge, coming from Tonton Willie, going to grandma, going to your place, back and forth, doing all that.
See?
Those are the things. Yes, you just sometimes, you feel like, okay, if I have to go back and just to see those things and say, okay, these are things that have evolved, and that means also we need to move up, to move on certain things. There are certain things that as you were speaking, I can tell, you know, the things that I never want to deal with them. I never want to deal with it, and it just somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm just like, no, I don't, and that's probably why
I don't wanna...
putting me in that position. But one day, you know, because
this take you,
coming from go ahead. Okay, so coming from being Afro doubters, you know, 3 years ago, and now I'm more, you know, I'm supporting people are willing to relocate back to Africa. I think my time is coming, but not
especially,
today.
You need to support people who want to relocate. You need to you need to be, you know, to know where they are relocating. So but it's this thing where I understand the trauma, because living is really something that, even if you're not living in even if you're not living because you're running away from something, you're just living because there's nothing there anymore. It's chaos, and it's for a better future. It is still something that will create trauma, because you're living behind your life to start a new life. And when you decide to go back, you kind of, even if the wound is, it's been, it's not even open anymore. It's been fine. There's kind of a lot of things that you have to deal with for yourself. The fact of seeing the old house destroyed with my eyes, it broke my heart. But at the same time, it made me even more happy when I saw my mom going to the land that they had on the upper hills, and she was like, you know what, I'm gonna build myself a house that will be 3 times bigger. And then when I saw her starting. So they lived in the Grand Hotel for years.
Yeah.
They had 2 suites, and they were just there chilling. And my dad was like, "Yeah, listen, we can stay there forever." My mom was like,
No.
And she built this huge palace. And when I got in the house, I was like, wow. And now that she's doing the plantation, look. So you were talking about, can I put WhatsApp here? Look at what my mom sent me.
Yeah, that picture.
So that's Tonton. Wait, I have to put. I'm not gonna put the sound anyway. But this is Tonton Willie. Oops. At the plantation.
Right.
And you see.
If it's Liboke.
Hey. And now they do this every Sunday.
I mean, and it's good. It's good for them because they reach that time of the lives where they need to kind of take it easy, to chill.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And at the same time, it's I believe that it has this this importance where you know that you have that safe space,
right?
And you have this safe space that is home, and you see the things that you can build, and you see the things that our parents are building, and you are like, okay, there's, even in the midst of all this chaos, there is still people that are building things, and there's a way to move forward, even if it's just a different mentality. I know that personally, when I think about it in 10 years or in 20 years, I don't know, because life is life, but I believe that I would be building here. But at the same time, from time to time, when I have conversations with Buddy, we think about, oh, listen, if I wanted to build a whole city or a whole block of buildings, would it be interesting to do it in Congo? You know, because there's a lot of things to be done that could be interesting. And even for us who are in the entertainment and content business, there's a lot of content that can be done. There's a lot of opportunities when internet become as ubiquitous as it is here. There's a lot of people creating a lot of amazing content because technology.
Yeah,
and so it's, you gotta go. You know, you just go, and you go to you go to all the places. You know, you go to some places that mean something to you, like going to 30 Juin, going to Rond-Point Forestcom, going to Mbinza, going to Njili, going to Lansele, and meeting people that you haven't seen for 40 years will reconnect the old you and the new you. And even if it's just for that, not with the need of going to go back, just to have
visit.
this, to visit, to revisit like your life. And listen, taking my daughter there, it means something also. It has such a different feeling when you go with your kids, and especially when they're young, and you tell them, hey, Canada is your house, but here is your home. Like, this is where you come from. This is maybe not. Our kids were born in Occident. My son was born in Belgium. My daughter was born in Portugal. But daddy was born in Kinshasa.
Exactly.
And when you take your children to where you were born, and where at their age you were here running on that land, it has a feeling that I cannot describe until you go, and you like, and you have this emotion. You know, you have this emotion of you want to cry, and you want to, Daddy comes from here.
Yes. And you know, talking about seeing them, when I saw Asha running, and it just reminded me that our years. Going back, going to grandma where she had a cube, and we will play in the cube, up, down, doing the things.
We would eat the yellow flowers because they had sugar in it, and we would all have diarrhea. You remember? Because it was laxative.
And I'm like, where do you get that? Where's that coming from?
It was those plants, those yellow flowers.
Yellow flowers, yes.
And then diarrhea. So all these little things, we have them in us.
Right.
But then when we arrive there, all of a sudden they are real again, and not just memories from a distant past. Because even me, like, you know, when people are like, yeah, but you know, why you love, you don't love Congo, you love more Zaire. I was like, it's not a question of Congo, Zaire, whatever. I was born in Zaire, and when I left that country, the name was Zaire. So my country doesn't exist anymore. My flag doesn't exist anymore. So at a point, I had to leave everything behind and live a new life, and meet new friends and speak a language that is a new language or whatever.
Right.
And yeah, listen, when you come back, all of a sudden, the streets are there. You see some people that you even forgot they exist, some aunties and some, you know, and all of a sudden, you are reconnected with your old self, and then you are whole again. So, you know.